Thanks for joining us on TVC Midday News. We're staying with the Idumota market fire. With Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-olu has now ordered the closure of the market till further notice. This comes as the government embarked on the spot assessment of the situation after a fire outbreak that burnt about 14 buildings. The governor noted that this closure will give government agencies the time and opportunity to come up with a viable solution.
I will sit around and speak to the other stakeholders and hear what amount of support, what level of comfort, what level of support will be rendered to some of the people that have been affected, and we will try and see how we settle them very quickly and see how we can get them back on their feet. But this is an incident too often very, very condemnable and very unacceptable, because government resources are not meant to be wasted like this. But like I said, we're going to be coming hard and ensuring that the planning authority, the fiscal planning authority, the spaces that we have here, we will comply with them, no matter who it is. No matter who it is. We'll do it, and we'll stand by our officers that are out there to do their job.
Senior reporter Theophilus Elamah joins me on the news this hour for more. Theo, you have been monitoring the situation since the inferno, and now the governor has announced a closure till further notice. Talk to us more about this on the spot assessment and how long this closure could last for.
Well, Babajide, since the situation happened, many have actually expected that the governor will come. And so when the information filtered in that the governor was coming, we got here quite on time. And he got here moving all around to see the extent of damage. It's one thing to be told about the damage, is one thing, and another thing to see what has happened. And so he went around even up to the back of the Semo market to see the extent of damage, and it was at that point he announced the indefinite closure of the market. Of course, he mentioned that closure will give time for the relevant agencies to be able to come up with a viable solution, because, like he said, it's one too many. Recall that about 3 weeks ago, some shops were burnt inside the Semo market at the far end, and now this has happened here again. Breadfruit Street is not far from here. It happened about last week as well, or I think on Monday as well. So it's one too many according to the governor, and so this will give them time to take appropriate measures in ensuring that this trend is stopped, not just in this area, but also in Lagos State.
And I can see some activities behind you there, trying to clear the debris and, of course, making way for more access and for whatever actions that government wants to take. Have we heard anything just yet from those who trade in this location? Is there any sight of them? Have they reacted to this in any way?
Can you please come back, Babajide?
I am asking about those who trade in Idumota market. Have we been able to hear from any of them? Is any of them lurking around that vicinity? Have they said anything?
Well, affected traders have been coming around. You could feel the tears and the sadness that this has brought. So many of them, from what we know and hear, usually collect loans to buy their goods. A lot of them usually buy this in bulk as well, and some store money inside there in a safe. Just yesterday I was talking with a trader here, and he refused to grant an interview, but he was saying that he knows that one of his friends, or they call themselves brothers, who has about 8 shops here among those that were burnt, is in China at this point trying to buy goods. And I'm sure that hearing that kind of situation will just break his heart, because many people here are trying to do business to make ends meet, and this has happened. It's quite a huge tragedy for them. As far as the emergency responders here, they've been here since the incident happened, and from what I am being told and what I know, the buildings here will come to ground zero. A lot of these buildings will come to ground zero, and I've been told as well that many of these buildings will undergo integrity tests to ascertain its habitability, and if it is not suitable for habitation, they will be brought down. So invariably, this is part of the measure that the Lagos State government will be employing to ensure that this doesn't happen. Of course, the issue of safety protocols have been raised as well, because from what we have heard here, many people do not employ safety protocols, especially like what happened that caused the fire here. Many people have said this is what happens all around this area. So the Lagos State government says it will ensure that this doesn't happen again by ensuring that the relevant agencies do what they need to do to avert such a situation. It's quite a tragic situation, I must say, Babajide.
Indeed, Theophilus. And I'm wondering if traders are able to come in and move their goods, should they choose to do that?
Well, for now, as at that Monday, as at Tuesday rather, traders whose shops were not affected were allowed to move their goods. But with what has happened, there's no goods to pull out from here, because everything has gone down, burnt down. Even as that yesterday, emergency responders were still trying to battle fires that were underneath, still coming up underneath. So it shows that the goods that were there, maybe clothing materials and all whatnot, were still burning as at yesterday. But as it is right now, no one is allowed to go inside Dosemu axis to pick anything whatsoever. Even if your shop has not been affected, no one is allowed to go into Dosemu axis. And of course, the Lagos State government has ordered total closure of Dosemu market indefinitely. So no one will be allowed to go in, and of course, no one will be allowed to do business within the area until everything has been sorted and the relevant agencies have done their bit to ensure that it doesn't happen again.
All right, Theophilus, thank you very much for this update.